Hello and welcome everybody to the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split. Sorry about the delay. Daylight savings time kind of got us, but here we are to cover at least the A Open tonight here from Phoenix Raceway. And God, what an awesome track. I just got done running a B fixed in the downtime, waiting to get up here to start covering this, and forgot how much this track is just an absolute blast to run. As we get the track map here, as we zoom in, very flat surface. A couple years ago, switched the front straightaway around with the back straightaway. So now we start in the dog leg here, which really makes for some intense, crazy restarts because everybody's gonna be trying to dive it down as low as they possibly can, coming into turn one to try and pull a slide job to get that position on the car in front of them. And a flat, slow entry turn 1 and 2 leads you right down the back straightaway. Got to be really careful modulating your throttle so you don't snap the thing around. And then coming into turn 3, pretty much have to park the thing to make it into the corner. But such a fun circuit. Excited to be here tonight to cover this. And as we go with the picks, I'm going to go with an old friend. Well, not so much an old friend, but an old competitor from back in the day for me. We'll go with the 23 machine. Come on, Rick Little.
It's a pretty good pick. I'm going through the whole list here myself, and I'm noticing a lot of familiar faces. Even some names that I wasn't expecting to seeing. One of them being Michael Conti. I'm picking him tonight.
Conti, absolute powerhouse pick there. I mean, the man's a legend all on his own. And our producer, Austin Derbyshire, going to go for the old Ryco number 80 machine of Tommy Gossett. Solid pick there. Either way, as we got the cars on the grid, we're going to go through the starting order of this race here. Starting on the pole is going to be Michael Conti in that number 2 machine with Sean Conklin, the Conky Donkey, starting on his outside, followed by James Houghton in third. Fourth is going to go to Paul Vergoli. Tommy Gossett going to launch off the grid here in 5th position with Garrett Maines right behind him in second. At 6th. 7th is going to be Miller Bonds with Adam Benefiel starting in P8. 9th is going to be Matt Baker, and rounding out your top 10 is going to be Alex Murray.
And picking things up to row number 6, you got John Payson in the 16 with Andrew Dyson, Joshua Latka and Jordan Schmitz. Kimonrick Little and Jeff Taylor share that row. Tanner Marty and Sean Rogers, Cameron Thompson and Jerry Turner round out your top 20.
And in 21st, we got Rob Mesh, followed by Daniel Edblad in 22nd. 23rd is going to be Jay Becker with Brad Newman in 24th. That's going to be exciting watching him crawl through the field. 25th is going to be Justin Lee Pearson with Joey Doucette. Sorry, 26th is going to be Edward Marshall. In 27th position, we're going to have Leo Barcelos with Chris Hargraves starting 28th. 29th is going to be Jason Fleemy with 30th position going to Joey Doucette. Star-studded field here to finish the A Open top split. Last race of the season for us here, at least for this series. Been a long, grueling, very grueling year, especially after we think back to last week at Martinsville with all the chaos we saw there. And, unfortunate start to the night, but glad that we can be up here to kind of put a bow on this thing and finish it off for all you guys watching at home. Michael Conti's down there on that inside line. Sean Conklin, very long stretch down this back straightaway to get into the Geico restart zone to launch this thing off. Gives you a lot of time to think.
No, something fell off my desk. I don't know. I forgot my cat's in here.
Either way, green flag is in the air. Michael Conti leading them here to the line. All the way down to the apron. Watch the fan out behind here. Everybody fighting for every possible inch they can get here on the track. Oh, goalie far into the fence in the turn 1.
And they're wrecking right behind him.
Oh, Newman. Newman gets turned around in the mess. Caution is in the air.
I thought we got all this stuff out of the way at Martinsville last week.
That's the problem, right? Like, so what I would notice in the B-Fix I ran a little bit ago, which, by the way, dominated, got the flag. Edstrom can get off my back. I'm pretty great. But the problem is, with all this room that you have here at the start to kind of throw these cars where you wouldn't on the old configuration, by the time you get into turn 1, it's just an absolute dogfight. You see right there, it started because Paul Vergoli kind of got to that transition back onto the banking from the flat. A little awkward. The car snapped around on him, but these guys behind him, not sure exactly what happened there. Looking to get the replay back. But that's just it's a slugfest coming into the first turn. And it is so easy with these cars to miss your brake just a little bit, lock up those front tires, and blow through your brake zone. See right there. 41 got loose, but I think he had a little bit of help there. It's a hard stack up there for a bunch of these cars.
This will force our entire field to go through another restart on this. This track where you mentioned at the start just how restarts can get really insane ever since the reconfiguration and repave of this track. That opens up a lot of opportunities for cars to take all sorts of land that's available from outside all the way to the inside wall. That you're going to have 6 wide, 7 wide, or even more than that. And I don't even think that's being exaggeratory in the slightest.
Yeah, so like watching this race, this track in real life, I'd rather watch the paint dry on the wall. But on iRacing, just running it alone is such a blast. Because this is such a... The only place I can think of, and a lot of people look at me sideways when I say this, but the only place that I can think of that really runs like Phoenix on here is... It feels like it's just a mini version of Pocono to me.
You can kind of see it, honestly.
Like the feel of the car, it is very reminiscent to what you feel at Pocono. You got that long sweeping corner. It used to be 3 and 4, now it's 1 and 2. And you know, it's the best feeling corner on the track. You get in there, you feel the car load up, you slowly bring that thing into rotation, and it feels so rewarding to go through there. Then you come into, you know, it used to be 1 and 2, now it's 3 and 4. And honestly, I would happily debate that there isn't a 4th corner here. But you go into that last corner, and it feels like turn 1 at Pocono. It's just, no matter what you do, you don't feel like you've gotten into the corner right. And you're fighting for front grip every time you go in there. And half the time, it just wants to snap around on you.
The TV pictures really don't do justice just how unique of a driving experience this track really is.
No, it is so much fun. Run around here, but the base car is off. They're working themselves in the restart zone here. Let's see if we get a better shot at it now. Michael Conti with control of the race now, since he retained the lead. I'll lead him to the green flag here. A little bit calmer further through the back of the pack, but we have a little bit of a 3-wide battle right here with the Ryco machines in the front. Maine's thought better of it, rolls out of it, gets right back to the back bumper of the 41 machine. Out. Down to the inside right now of Conklin, though. Conklin going to hold the spot here in 3rd. Look at that CF Ryco cars up here. But Conti's still very much in control of the race with a 0.2 of a second advantage over 2nd place Houghton. Not going for the cut in the dog leg, though. Probably trying to save a little bit of tire.
A little bit. I mean, I don't know how the tires wear on this track in particular. I haven't really ran many laps here, but I am curious to see what the pace is going to look like if we do get a long green flag run. I mean, it's not as abrasive as a track like, let's say, I don't know, Homestead. We were there a couple weeks ago. Tire fall off there is much bigger than I think what we're going to see tonight. But I think... I don't know that I'm getting that. I was going to say, I think we're going to see a little bit of patience if we do see this green flag run continue on. And speaking of, we got Tommy Gossa here in this number 80 machine. That's a very, very familiar paint scheme for anyone out here watching.
Look at that, got Ken Byron's face on this side of this thing. They painted him as an M&M. That is the most unique throwback I think I've seen in a while. 10 points to Tommy for that. That is a beautiful machine. Look at the beard, man. I feel like that one was done in secret, but thank you, Tommy, for giving us a different paint scheme on a Ryco car so I can actually pick you out of the mix this week. Look right here. And this is what you're going to see a lot of this race. It's just a lot of single file. There's not a lot of room for the lane to open up. Now, 1 and 2, as we get later on the tires, I can already tell you, we're going to see a lot of guys building up against that wall, trying to build some kind of run through the middle with it lately. For now, pretty standard. Everybody just tries to stop tires here on the paint.
Yeah, a lot of settling in right now for sure as Conti continues to lead, but not comfortably as James Hobbs had the car behind him. Not too far off, only about 310. He's running a different line, I'm noticing, right there, 1 and 2. He's trying to get the drive off, trying to see how close he can get to Conti. See if he can try to set him in for a pass for the lead. Right now, he's not really close enough to do that. 3 and 4, he's just kind of staying in his tire tracks, not really trying anything different here. But, I think that's something that, not just Houghton, but also the guys behind him, Conklin, Maines, Gossett, all the other Ryco cars. You got the Conti car leading the charge, but they're all kind of going to the planning board right now, seeing what kind of maneuvers they can be able to do at a track that's not really the easiest when it comes to passing.
Yeah, with Conti also doing everything he needs to do to preserve the longevity of those Goodyear Eagles underneath that number 5 machine. Get down there, run on that paint, kind of letting the car do the work for you. If you run that bottom line around here, you really don't have to put a whole lot in the car. It's the secret to why Kevin Harvick was so dominant here back in the day is just you run that low. You get on that transition. There's a slight transition in between the banking and the flat. And you add that little bit of extra grip that paint has, and it really takes a lot of the work out of your hands and puts it into the track surface in the car itself. And it's really good for maintaining those Goodyears. So see a little bit of movement going on in the back of the pack, but kind of just a log jam. Pretty typical here for old Phoenix. See that 22 machine trying to take a look to the outside of Matt Baker. I think that's Alex Murray behind him. New paint scheme for the 22 this week. Give him a little bit of a push to the back of Baker here as he gets to the outside of Tommy Gossett. Going to kind of get him pinned up there. Use Tommy as a pick. If that 98 machine can get to the outside of Tommy here, 1 and 2, he can really bring a fight to that 80. Because it's so hard to fend off somebody trying to charge past you on the outside here.
It almost looked like Baker had he's going to bump him into turn number 3. And he's going to get him sideways. That checks this whole line up.
Baker. Benefield got the worst break of that deal. But man, getting into the back of Tommy Gossett, that is something you don't see frequently. It does not work out for many guys, so this is where the sparks are going to fly in this thing.
I wonder if he was hungry for M&Ms.
Definitely wasn't hungry for Ken Byron, that's for sure. See the replay here. See him get right there, and that's just a huge shot. Everything was good until he got to the left rear quarter of that 80 machine, and as you see, man, the 83 at Benefield just absolutely got beat with the word at the end of the stick there.
See, even right before that, I think he was trying to, diamond the exit of turn 2 and he was trying to get an exit, but, Gossett kind of cleared his nose a little bit out of 2, so that kind of took away the opportunity, and I kind of thought that was the end of the story there, but the story kept on going into turn 3 with those two meeting up, bumper to bumper.
Yeah, and since it is such a difficult track to make passes, and I'm sure the dirty air in this car way more pronounced than what I was just dealing with an hour ago, I'm sure that once you get to somebody's bumper, you want to do everything you can to move them out of the way. Because, I mean, man, it's a flat track. It's the next-gen car. That is not a great combo for passing. As you see, Conti running away with a huge advantage right now over second and third. Sean Conklin and Garrett Maines. And these two just keeping up with what we saw last week at Martinsville, bumper to bumper. Always fun to see which one is going to come out on the better end of this battle between these two drivers. They put on such a good show for us all year long in the A Open and NIS, and glad we get another chance to sit here and watch them go at it again.
And I don't know how frequent this is. I've only been starting to follow this series for a couple weeks now, but every time I've watched, it's been Conklin and Maines running nose to tail or side by side nearly every single time. And it's always been at the front. These two has just been very impressive, especially with Conklin, with how, I think you mentioned he's how old now, and he's this fast?
Yeah, he's, last I heard, 15 years old, out here right now with a busted up collarbone.
Oh, and okay, that just pisses me off even more. He's that quick, that young, right? And that broken up.
It's been crazy watching him throughout the year too. Because when I first started covering, he was great, but there was a couple things that need polish here and there, and you've really seen in the later stages of this season, Conklin really just pick it up and it's so much talent between Conklin as well as Garrett Maines. Because like Maines has basically made this series his charity event all year long, and one of the few guys that's been able to really go toe-to-toe with him every week without hesitation is Conklin. Another
And
one that really
that's
stirs that mix up, though, is that car up there in the lead, Michael Conti. But I mean, when it comes to Conti, you're expecting that, hands down.
no doubt. And he's up to a second lead now, but we kind of see this anytime we have, raw talent come onto the scene. And it's usually like some of these guys kind of have to learn some of the ins and outs of being fast, as we see a pass here for second place in the turn one by
Oh, and a
Maines.
caution.
And we got a caution.
So, hard contact there. So I get the number on that machine. That's the 10 machine. That's Becker. Let's see what happened here.
He's on the outside.
They're on the top, gonna come down. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He caught that apron at the worst possible angle, and thing steps out on him and gets slammed right in the door at the same time.
That was a mix of him. It looked like he might have slapped the wall before getting to the dog, like right there. And then just, yeah.
Based on how quickly that thing snapped around, I have to wonder if he caught. Normally when you try to cut that apron, you try to cut it a little bit earlier because the transition is a little bit lighter. I wonder if he, slammed the rub stops on the underbody of the car, and if that didn't snap him around there. Because I've hit those before in this car, and that is a terrifying experience. See Conti bringing her down pit road here in that first pit stop. Everybody down here getting 4 tires and fuel. Oh, Houghton going to get the jump out on pit road though. Wonder if he maybe shook it up and took 2.
Very
Absolutely,
interesting.
he did. 9.4 second pit stop. And I think we saw 14 out of Conti there in second. Or was I hallucinating? That's happened before. Yes, we did. So Houghton, 2 tires and fuel. Now, in years past, that has been a really good call here at Phoenix. I'm not sure how it's going to work out today, though.
If there's a time to try, might as well try it now. I mean, the left side tires usually don't get, the kind of wear you'd get on the right sides. And I've seen it pay off for some guys in the past. Be very interesting if this is a similar case. But, Conti, Maines, they're going to be on 4 tires. So if it doesn't, they're going to be right there ready to pounce.
The main thing he's really going to have to worry about is a loose off condition coming through the corners here. I don't see it being too much of a problem coming through 3 and 4, but 1 and 2, I can absolutely see that be a huge detriment to that 41 machine. I like the gutsiness of the call, right? Like, you're not going to win this thing riding around, behind Garrett Maines and Sean Conklin while Michael Conti is running off to, the pay window. Go out there, do something, set yourself apart, try something. See these guys working themselves around here under caution. 1 wave around car up here at the front. I want to say that is Payson.
Oh, they're pacing all right.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You see the 16 machine of John Payson getting his lap back. 1 lap to green now. We had a good run to start this thing off after that first yellow. Now the question is this where the chaos is going to start to break out? Space car takes a hard left turn down that long pit road. James Houghton out here on 2 tires, up at the point, in control of the race. This could make this race really difficult for Michael Conti, because we saw how hard it was for those guys to get to him on that first run. So work themselves through 3 and 4 into the Geico restart zone. Green flag is back in the air. Good launch from the 41 machine of Houghton here. Going to clear a couple car lengths, about 2.5 tenths of a second over the rest of the field. Conti's stuck up there on that outside line right now. Getting freight train. Garrett Maines on the bottom. Maines not able to get the power down though. Conti's going to get the advantage coming out of turns 1 and 2. And he's going full right up to the back bumper of the 41 machine of James Houghton here in the 3 and 4.
Oh, we got a spinner back there. Around.
I feel like that shouldn't have been a caution, but it was. Happened here to the 30 machine. See him right here with Matt Baker to his rear bumper. It's just a very, very awkward place to be. They kind of missed the line coming into 3 and 4, and car right to the left for battle 98 machine of Baker.
That's really all it took.
I'm just sometimes making up your own line isn't the way to go about it. Tough break for Jason Blummel there, though.
Well, so far, if you're James Houghton still on the 2-tire call and you're still in the lead, you know, only getting 1 lap down, I am curious as we get a car getting his lap back. I'm curious to see now that we got this one restart under our belt. We're going to get another one here underway, assuming everyone stays out. If Houghton can continue to hold on to the lead, with all the pressure that he's going to be getting, not just from Michael Conti, but also Garrett Maines and Sean Conklin.
I don't know, man. That 5 machine, he is looking bad fast tonight. I mean, that's to be expected.
And before we had that caution, he got up to about a full second over the Ryco cars. So Conti's got really good, what seems like middle-of-the-run pace. Which makes me curious to see how much further he can go if we really get a full fleshed out green flag run. So we know what kind of speed that 5 car has. It's just a matter of if Houghton can hold him off.
Phoenix also is just one of those tracks, right? Like, if the guy in front of you gets off to a big advantage, it is so hard to reel them back in, because it's so hard to find anything that makes you different, anything that makes you better than the cars ahead of you and the cars behind you. It's very commonplace for guys to kind of just get separated, you know, a second and a half, and just stay that way throughout the run.
And you mentioned clean air as well, or like with how these cars kind of behave in the air at this track. That's another good thing for Houghton being up front, is that he is in clean air. He's not being disrupted by, you know, the wakes of the cars that everyone else is going to be experiencing. So, and we kind of saw this even in like the championship races in the Cup Series, where cars would just kind of air block. I don't know how effective that really is here. It might be not as bad, but I don't know. Maybe that could be something that Houghton might be thinking of. I don't know. I haven't driven these cars here.
It is a great break for Houghton, but also at the same time, I just feel like when you've got talents behind you like Garrett Maines, Michael Conti, Sean Conklin, you're going to need more than air. We're about to find out as you see the pace car duck back down pit road here. Now these guys kind of get a little bit of time to think about what they're going to do next. So it pays around here at 55 miles per hour into turns 3 and 4. Still trying to figure out where turn 4 is, but they say it's there. Into the Geico restart zone. James Houghton in control of this thing with Michael Conti to his outside. Green flag is in the air.
Another good launch.
Yeah, really good launch for your race leader, James Houghton. What's Michael Conti going to be doing that outside line? You see Garrett Maines running right down there on the paint. A little bit of a slide up, going to hurt the momentum on corner exit. give the advantage back again to the 5 machine of Michael Conti. The 3 and 4, so much harder to make it work on the outside line. But I think he's going to be able to do it. Not quite. Garrett Maines getting a really good charge, center off. Going to bring him back to the door, the 5, but we got a car almost sideways. It was like Kamaric Little back in the pack. Good save. And we are 3 wide for the lead right now. Conti's stuck on the outside line. Here comes Garrett Maines with a charge back to the bottom, and he's bringing Sean Conklin with him. They're going to be almost 4 wide coming out of turn 4.
Conti was searching for an extra lane through turns 3 and 4. Thought there was an opening there. Oh, but look at this. Garrett Maines from the bottom through the dogleg into the lead with Conklin in tow. As both Houghton and Conti get past.
Huge slide job. And if you're Conti, you knew this was going to happen once you realized you'd lost control of the race due to a 2-tire stop. As you see him now desperately trying to get past that 41 machine to move up into the 3rd position. But right now, Houghton, I mean, we've mentioned it before, the man is one of the hardest guys to pass on the service. Put him up there with Gossett and Brad Newman. When it comes to guys who can just hang on your quarter panel and drive you absolutely insane, but Conti going to get the power down here in 1 and 2. Going to move right up there in front of him. And Conti up to P3. Now can he chase down your leaders? Studies have worked themselves through 3 and 4, 3 wide, a little bit further in the pack. Tommy Gossett all the way down to the bottom of the dog leg, just about kissing the pit wall with that left side picture of Ken Byron. Gonna pull a slider here into 1 and 2. Gonna make it stick. Move Tommy Gossett up to P15 here. 22, Jose Salas. Huge lock up into 3 and 4. That is not Salas, my bad. 22 this week.
Been fooled.
I have.
Oh, look at this 3 wide action right here.
3 wide again. Kamaric Little up there against that outside groove. Up into the fence a little bit, but making it work. Going to pick off 2 spots in 1 corner. And that's why I had him on my picks there, because I've seen that guy do some crazy things, you know, given it was back in the Gen 6 era. But that Kamaric Little guy, man, he can wheel it with some of the best of them out here. Garrett Maines with a 0.3 of a second advantage over his teammate Sean Conklin in 2nd. Conklin just 0.5 behind them.
That's another chance for...
Jake.
Go ahead.
See a little bit further in the pack, Matt Baker down to the inside of the 26 machine of Mesh as they work themselves into 3 and 4. Baker with the advantage on corner entry. Mesh going to slide back, not able to make anything stick out of that outside line. A little bit racier than it did earlier. Not everybody's comfortable with what they got.
And that makes things more exciting for us as they're trying to figure it out on the fly.
Getting on board here a little bit further in the back of the pack. Groves, recent 19 machine. It's a pretty sick looking paint scheme there. Oh, a little bit of contact almost into 1 and 2. Nope, there it is. A bit of door banging through 1 and 2. Everybody's going to walk away with it okay, though. You see the 28 machine going to get the advantage here into 3 and 4. Hargreaves going to move himself up to P23. Pearson still trying to fight back on that inside line, though. Went for the crossover, didn't have the momentum to do anything with it, though. Maines still with the advantage, though, starting to grow over 2nd place. Sean Conklin now up to a 0.5 of a second lead for 2nd place. Conti few tenths of a second back from Sean Conklin.
We just saw Benefield get around Murray for what looks like a top 5 position. Right behind them. Looks like Miller Bonds, I believe.
I do believe so. Benefield with a pretty good recovery after, you know, getting absolutely decimated on that earlier incident. And, Gossett almost got turned around. Looking pretty smooth and calculated tonight. It's good. It's been a rough end half of the season for that 83 machine. Hope to see him kind of turn that luck around. I know Benefield's a better driver than what the results have been showing him on the board here recently. Used to be an absolute nuisance to race and be open because he was just so dang fast back in the day.
Ooh,
huge
what
contact
is going on there?
That, we'll need a replay on that one, Cap. That looks like somebody's throttle hung.
It was the 18. Had about 3-4 car lengths before even getting to turn 1, and
I don't know what Ed Vlad was doing there. It did end bad, though. Thank you. I'll be here till Darby fires me. Right now, Conti.
don't worry, if I'm still here, you're fine.
Oh, sweet. Let's do it. Right now, though, Conti trying to make a strike on the 54 machine of Sean Conklin. Conklin hasn't really been able to pull away from him any of this run. Just a car length and a half separating these two since we've gone green. I think what we've really been seeing up here at the point of this race, though, so far is just the advantage of clean air. Because it really doesn't look like these guys can do anything. We saw how big of an advantage that 2 machine of Conti got on the field on the first launch. Now Garrett Maines is up here at the point. You know, you're seeing him do the same thing, just kind of walking away.
Yeah, he's in a much more comfortable spot than where he was before with the lead, and I'm touching up on clean air. We're starting to see it kind of pay dividends for Garrett Maines up in the front. Not quite the lead that we saw with Michael Conti, but now we see Michael Conti still hasn't been able to get around Sean Conklin. It seems like those two are pretty much at a stalemate, as it doesn't seem like either one of them are able to get away from each other on either end, as Conklin is still about a half second back from his teammate. But he's still got about a car length and a half, maybe 2 on Conti, and that really hasn't fluctuated all that much.
Yeah, right on board here, and, you know, kind of see what might be causing that. You know, you see on board with Conti, it's such a fine line, there's such a fine groove. Like, you can do a couple different things there in 1 and 2. When it comes to 3 and 4, you have to lock it down there to that bottom line. There's no pace on that outside line. And that right there, you know, it makes it so hard to find something to make yourself different, make your stuff work a little bit quicker. Then you factor in the dirty air. You know, most weeks we go to tracks where you can kind of off-center that splitter, get a little bit of clean air to it. And you see that's what he's trying to do in 1 and 2 here, going up to the top. But there's just not much you can really do to break that bubble. But as these guys are running around here trying to figure it out, 51 laps into this event, we're going to take it to a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with more racing action here on the grid.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And welcome back to the Ryco Performance Monday night top split here from Phoenix, Arizona. 59 laps on the board as Garrett Maines leads him to the stripe to put 60 on out of 110. Now the next question I got is, I'm wondering we're going to see green flag pit stops here. I don't know what the fuel data is this week. Haven't really run anything in the Cup car, but you see, Maines up there with a sizable advantage over second place Sean Conklin. Now, Michael Conti has been doing everything he can to try and find a way past that 54 machine. It's just not coming to fruition. Conklin doing a really good job of holding it down there in P2, second and a half back from your race leader.
No, and it's mostly unchanged throughout the top 10 as those two cars are looking to get side by side. But, I'm looking at, James Houghton in fourth place. We touched up on him taking 2 tires on that one pit stop.
Yep.
And that was really close. Let me finish my thought here, guys. Chill out. But, Houghton, he's not losing. I don't think he's really lost much time here to second and third, and he's able to get away from Benefiel in fifth place. So it was worth a shot, and even if he's not able to keep the lead, it hasn't really hurt him at all, as he's still hanging on to a top 5 spot.
Yeah, the good news for Houghton here is, for all of Ryco, really, they got Houghton up there in the lead with that 2-tire call. That gave Houghton the control, which also put, Conti in a non-favorable position there on that restart, which, if you're Houghton, it's Jack Plus, right? Because you want your teammates to do well. And you also write down the book, hey, 2 tires when I have 24 laps on the thing, that's something that I can actually do and maintain, at least be competitive. Because, best believe if it was just Houghton up there and he wasn't surrounded by teammates, he would have been absolutely charging it way harder trying to, fend off P2 and P3. And you know what? It might have possibly worked because it seemed like those tires had a really quick plateau rate compared to what we see other weeks at different tracks. But riding around a P4 right now, he's literally lost nothing. In fact, if anything, he might have gained something on that.
And now that we've cut back to him, he's reeled them back in, but that's also because Conti's still not done with Conklin. If anything, this might be his best shot to get back around him as he dives to the inside into turn 3.
Conti down to the bottom of the track here on the front stretch. Diving it way low in the dog leg, trying to get door to door, trying to get even with that 54 machine coming in 1 and 2. Not quite able to get there, though. Still side by side, a little bit of door contact between the two of them here in the center of the corner. Conti's tired of running back there behind that 54 machine. He knows he's got a fast hot rod. Trying to send it back down to the bottom in 3 and 4. A little bit loses the nose on the inside, but this is absolutely pulled that 41 machine of Houghton up into the picture. Conklin going to get the spot.
Yeah, and as he lost the nose, Conklin looked like he lost the rear end off 4, and not only... Oh, he's sideways! Around. Save it! Save it! Save it!
Oh!
Wow!
What a drive!
And he's still trying to save it.
Anybody else would have wrecked that machine. So, yeah, he was dead loose in 3 and 4. Getting those right rears heated up. Catches it midway down the straightaway, dives it back down to the apron. Not transition related, just diving in a little too deep, I think. Round she goes. One hell of a save. Look at that. From a broken collarbone, man. I'm gonna roll the Tokyo Drift music and Please get our producer to stop singing into my ear.
I wonder how much of Michael Conti losing the nose in 3 and 4 had any effect on that, because that's not where I feel like Conklin wanted to be. And, you know, once he lit up the rears out of 4, that carried over all the way into turn 1, and that definitely caught him off guard for sure, as, you know, he's back down to 4th place, about 2 seconds back from Houghton, who's now up to 3rd. But now he's got this whole line of cars behind him with Benefield, Baker, and Dyson. As Baker's going to the outside.
As Sterling Wallen used to say, that thing's got the hospital hop coming down the straightaways. Yeah, I think right there that the pressure that the 5 machine of Conti was putting to the back of that 54 was what really forced him to light up those right rear tires, trying to get the most out of corner exits. You see the 11 machine of Dyson diving down to the bottom. Conti just about spins it coming out of 1 and 2. Sorry, Conklin. Brain no working.
Conti, Conklin, what's the difference?
I think some Pro Series champions and championships and yeah, sizable amount of years.
Oh my God, he's still
Oh.
Gonna chop the nose of Baker, and he's loose as well. Another save.
Well, I can tell you which direction the Ryco cars are building this week. It looks like they're a little bit on the edge, but that's where the speed's at. Loose is fast, but you got to keep them tires under if you want to make it work. You see Tommy Gossett doing a great job of that, working himself through the field here. Down to the inside, making a move on the 83 for P6. That's Baker. Benefield up there on the outside.
Oh God.
Oh, huge chop on the 83 machine coming out of 2. Oh, Conklin's gonna lose it. Saved it again.
He's gonna bleed another 3 spots as a result.
Brother, bring it in. Throw on some tires.
Oh, we got one on the wall right there.
Now watching Baker behind Benefield. Tommy Gossett up here in P6. And there it is.
Yeah, he had to.
Conklin. Yeah, no, there was no way he was keeping that thing out there and not being the next caution. But all of that racing that Conklin did to hold off second place Michael Conti has absolutely benefited Garrett. Look at the advantage now, 3.5 seconds. And now Conti is under direct fire from James Houghton in that 41 machine. And Houghton, remember, on 2 tires. That is how much 54 and the 5 wore each other out on that run earlier.
Played dividends to Houghton, for sure.
Yeah, Houghton right up to the back bumper. Trying to get to the back bumper. So difficult to do with these things here. It's like watching a mirror image between these two. See Houghton going up to the top, trying to get a little bit of clean air to the splitter. He sees that lap car in front. Lapper throwing the advantage of that slightly cleaner air that Conti's playing with, throwing that completely out of the window.
It's gonna force him to go high as the lap car stays low.
And look at how good of a center Houghton had through 3 and 4 there. Closed up so much ground.
Both from cutting the dogleg as the lapper stays high. Now they go to the bottom this time.
Out keeping that nose just a little bit lower to the paint than the 5 machine of Conti. Trying to maximize on that clean air advantage. Not able to get a whole lot though, as that 5 machine is still right directly in front of him. Gonna fall in line here through 3 and 4. I feel like I can safely say this battle's going to stagnate here for a couple of laps until that 41 machine gets the tires cooled down a little bit more and make another stab at it. Oh, not quite. Conti looked a little bit loose there in 1 and 2. But no dice for Houghton. The fact that that 41 is so competitive on such older tires, or the rest of these guys, is something to be proud of. if you're in that 41 machine. They kind of separated here. It's a bit of a battle shaking up though. Murray to the back of the 83 machine of Adam Benefield. So it's on the back straightaway into turn 3. Benefield doing a good job keeping that machine behind him, though. Really good run for Adam tonight. Sitting here in the top 10. Like I said, man, such a rough season for him. So many heartbreaking moments, just, you know, being at the wrong place at the wrong time tonight. Unable to just get out here, stretch his legs, and get to where he deserves to be.
Side by side into 3. This is the car we just saw sideways earlier.
A good recovery out of the 10 machine. Here comes Conti, though. I mean, Conklin all the way down to the bottom on 4 fresh tires. If you're the rest of these guys, you're thinking about fitting here pretty shortly. Did you see how fast that 54 machine is? Again, though, diving it into the corner, right behind the 22 machine. Another one that we saw get up into the fence earlier on in this thing. Smooth move down to the bottom. Oh, but just about lost it coming into turn 2. Watching Conklin dice his way through traffic, getting by Adam Benefield. That's the 7th place car on the track. Long way to go for Conklin just to unlap himself, though. This right here, this is about 10 seconds back from your race leader.
Oh, he's sideways. Oh!
And that's going to be yellow, and that's going to throw Conklin's entire race out the window.
He did not want that.
No. Not at all. Trying to figure out Jeffrey Taylor. See who that was. See him just get in there. Way too deep. Thing locks up. Round it goes. Now, this late in the run, you know, you just want to be a lot more cautious with your inputs. You know, we've seen how loose some of these guys are. It gets down there on the transition from the flat to the banking. They're diving it in pretty deep and just pretty much driving on ice at that point. But as we take lap 84 under caution, guys on pit road here, we're going to send it to a quick commercial break, and we will be back to bring you the rest of the racing action here on the grid. And back live here at Phoenix for the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split. Guys just came out of pit road, 4 tires and fuel for the whole field here this time. Nobody taking the 2-tire gamble. Race control goes to Garrett Maines, wins the race off pit road. Michael Conti now starting on that outside row again. This time with a little bit less pressure though. Conklin trapped a lap down through that caution coming out at the worst possible time for him when he was 10 seconds back from your leaders. And now we get to see one heck of a battle here between 2 pro caliber drivers. These guys work themselves into the Geico restart zone for hopefully the final time. Garrett Maines gets a good jump over the rest of the field here, and you see a little bit of team communication here working out, moving Houghton up there into that second position, side by side coming into 3 and 4 with Michael Conti up there on the outside line, that 5 machine.
Oh, I see one sideways in the back.
Don't spin
That's
it.
not a yellow. That might
Looks
be
like
good.
we're
I don't
good.
know.
Yeah, I think we're good for now, knock on wood. Oh,
come on.
Oh, a little bit of contact. Save it. Oh, man. Some of the best saves I've seen all year.
And what do we say? It's these restarts every time. This is where they give it their all, especially, you know, Phoenix rewards it with how much room there is to run, and how many open lanes there are to take and give. You know, these guys are going to go for it.
It's high risk, high reward. Especially when you factor in, you know, we've seen how many laps it takes to get by just one car. You're further in the back of the pack, you want to charge it and try to get yourself carved through that field as soon as you possibly can. As right now you see Michael Conti going to the outside now of your race leader, Garrett Maines, trying to put the pressure to the 1 machine up here at the point. Not able to get the power down, though. Maines doing a really good job diamonding that bottom. Going to get the advantage as we come down the back straightaway. But Conti still right within a stone's throw of your race leader.
A really good exit off 4. Let's see if he's going to get close enough to set him up. Not quite, as he's got him covered off through the dog leg.
Oh, but here he comes with a huge charge down into turn 1, down to the inside on the quarter panel. Gonna hook it on that paint, try to build that momentum coming out of turn number 2. Going dead heat down into turn number 3. Conti down to the bottom now. The battle for the lead really starting to intensify as you see Conti running inside line. Maines makes this mistake. Scrapes the fence just a little bit coming out of turn number 4. You don't see that often. Conti a little slow on the bottom.
Garrett Maines is able to keep Conti pinned down through 1 and 2. Being down there, he's not going to have a whole lot of wiggle room unless he really tries a different line like he did last time. He was able to get to his inside. He's still there through 3 and 4. It's able to benefit him a little more as 3 and 4, the bottom lane is the way to go.
Now here's the question, is Conti going to send a slider down to 3 into 1 and 2? Really charges that corner entry, but not able to do much. Maines doing a great job keeping him pinched down there on the bottom. Maines going to have the advantage coming down the back straightaway.
And James Houghton, he's tucked back in line. Houghton was hoping those 2 would stay side by side because he was starting to close in on both of them.
Well, the good
Because he's
news
experimenting with the outside.
We got around further in the pack. I heard the skid marks, no caution. Good to go for now. Houghton's really doing everything he can to run different lines than these leaders. You see him all the way up against the fence in 1 and 2. But
oh, he definitely got one around there on the backstretch. 22 and boom! Benefield gets involved.
Oh, look at Conrick, little squeak through there.
Oh, they're still wrecking.
I swear, if that would have taken Conrick right after I said look at him get through there, I would have actually just logged off for the night. And Schmeets is around. A lot of cars caught up in that one. Oh. Same thing we saw at Martinsville last week. Just that quick snap down to the bottom, causing that thing to come around. These cars, they transfer weight so harshly compared to what we used to have back in the day. And Benefield, unfortunately, just victim of circumstances again. Looked like he had it in the bag tonight for a good finish. Shame how quick this race has gotten quick.
And the thing is, you get a run off turn 2 and you try to get out of line, next thing you know, you're playing a game of ping pong. as he got about 5, 6 cars. Oh, that 9 car was like the last car to get involved. He was so close to getting through it, as that took out quite a few cars in that exchange that was building up all the way from the exit of 2 all the way into turn 3.
The question is, what's the strategy here? You know the 2 tires is a viable option with less than 20 laps on them. However, you're going to see these guys dive down pit road. Doesn't look like it. Everybody's staying out up here at the front. Garrett Main still your race leader. Michael Conti in second. Five laps here into this, and man, I tell you, been a good show to these guys today. It's been a good show all year. It's been an absolute blast to sit up here in the booth and cover the Monday night A and B opens all season long. Looking forward to doing it again next year. And a little bit of breaking news. Next season, starting in 25, GridVision. I don't know if you got to see it at the beginning of the show, but we are going to be going live on Twitch exclusively. So be sure to catch all your Monday and Friday night top split action over there on the Purple site. Just look at that beautiful, beautiful graphic. Our wonderful producer, who's not forcing me to say this at all, put together for that. GridVision purple, I like it. I hope we go with that. That could be a permanent thing. No, it should be a permanent thing. He's saying it can't. Should put up a poll. Should it be purple or should it be orange? No fun.
Hey, I'll put it out there. I like both colors. I like the color purple more. It just stands out more personally. And it's exciting though, seeing Twitch viewers are going to be able to see the kind of racing we're able to put on. And Phoenix has been surprisingly entertaining to watch. And I hate that I sound like Darrell Waltrip from 2008 at Bristol, but I'm glad I'm able to be up here with you guys to experience this as we're about to get ready to have another restart as the pace car pulls down pit road for this long-awaiting restart zone. It's not traditional as like at most tracks. The pace car pulls off and you get the restart zone right here. Now these guys are on their own up until about turn 4, and that's when they get let loose.
And here they come, working themselves into turn number 3 for what might be the final time of the evening. Garrett Mains on the point with Michael Conti to his outside. Mains with a good jump on the restart here. Not as good as what we saw earlier, though. As you see Conti get himself funneled right back in behind that number 1 machine coming into turn number 1. Conti gonna try and charge that outside line, build a little bit of momentum on Garrett Mains. Up to the right rear quarter, not able to get it to stick though as they come through the center of the corner. Garrett Mains gonna leave him down the back straightaway, but here comes Houghton down to the inside with Baker to his outside.
Now is Baker setting up the run off turn number 2, but Houghton misses the
Houghton
bottom. That's
missed it.
gonna force him up. They're gonna be 3 wide off 4.
Tough break for Baker, but here comes Tommy Gossett all the way down to the inside wall on the inside. Gonna pick off 2 there. But now, where does Conti set up this move? Because you know it's going to be coming. 2 drivers, alumni of the Peak or the Coca-Cola Pro Series, whichever one you prefer to call it by, based on era. Both really talented drivers with a lot of tools in the toolbox for situations like this. As you see Mains run that middle line, trying to keep the most out of that momentum. He knows that Conti keeps trying to go to the top. We are looking a little bit further back, though. Baker down to the inside of the 11 machine of Dyson. Not able to get anything to materialize. Conti falling back in line behind your race leader. Still trying to figure out how he's going to mount a strike on the 1 machine of Garrett Mains. Coming up to the outside line now here into 1 and 2. That bottom line's going to prevail. Garrett Mains with the advantage for now, but Conti charging that exit. Going for a little bit of a late arc. bring him right back up to the bumper coming into 3 and 4. Everybody's single filing out a little bit. As you see the 11 machine trying to take a dive down to the inside of Houghton. This is the battle for third. Battle heating up at the lead too, but not able to materialize right now.
Yeah, he's just not able to get enough of a nose in on the inside, as now he's going to go about a car width up into turn 3.
Oh, but here comes Dyson down to the inside of the 41. I think he's going to be able to get it here. Huge run for the 11 machine. Coming out of nowhere later in this race. Still a dead heat. Houghton kind of washing up the track a little bit through 1 and 2, giving the advantage to Dyson. Dyson's going to clear him coming out of 2.
How close can you get to that wall without hitting it? I think Conti just about answered that off turn 2. And this is, you know, there are not many laps left. There's no saving anymore. This is all or nothing, these last 7-8 laps between Garrett Maines and Michael Conti. Two of the fastest cars in the field, head-to-head in the closing laps here at Phoenix.
I would happily argue that these are two of the best drivers on this service alone when it comes to their, you know, to the series that they run in. As you see, Conti now getting right back to the back bumper. Garrett Maines, 6 laps left on the board. And before too long, I think you're going to start seeing that front bumper, that 5 machine, fly up to the rear of that 1. Because you know it's going to get aggressive as we get later into this thing. Conti trying again for that huge diamond through 1 and 2. Not going to get the momentum this time, though, that he was looking for. Maines going to kind of walk away, open that up to about a half a car length. Conti with a huge dive into 3, though, going to get right back up to the bumper, the 1 machine, as they come to the line. 5 laps to go now. Down into turn number 1, Conti clipping that apron, trying to shorten up that corner a little bit, get as much grip into that car as he can. Not able to find the momentum to get by the 1 machine of Garrett Maines. A little further in the back. Look
who's back up to 7.
Back up to 6.
Oh, we have the yellow.
Caution.
Oh, no.
Oh, the 10 machine.
Unfortunately for him, the second time he's been around in this race tonight. Just loose off 2.
Just huge slide. We've seen it all night.
Wow. Whoever that was nearly got involved. I'd give that guy a heart attack.
It was the jump scare of the night. Thought Halloween was over. Right on board with Becker here. Just a little bit too much throttle. Once these things get loose, man, it is the hardest thing to bring them back right. These Gen 7 cars are probably the most fickle that I recall ever running. But this is going to open us up for a green-white checkered. You thought the restarts were crazy earlier, Curtis. Hold on to your butt, man. It's about to get wild.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen everything that these guys have been willing to show yet. You know, these restarts, when we talk about crazy, they've looked kind of reserved. You know, we haven't seen like the crazy 5-6 wide nonsense we see like in the truck series when they all like wreck into turn 1. Like, these guys have been pretty composed, you know, keeping it orderly. I haven't seen anything too crazy, but now it's crunch time. We got our overtime restart here on the brink. Yeah, these guys are not going to hold back anymore. It's time to go.
Yeah, it is going to be absolute chaos here. 100%.
And what I'm looking at is the front row. Whoever's been restarting in second hasn't been able to get any good launch whatsoever. I mean, you know, the leader's always going to get the better of the second place car on the restart, but it seems like the leader just is able to get like a full car ahead on each restart, and the second place car nearly gets overtaken before they get to turn 1. So it's going to be up to Conti to not mess up this final restart. He's got a quick enough car to make up for it if he does, but you know, I want to be as close to Maines as I possibly can with, you know, the amount of laps that we have left just aren't going to be enough. We've seen he's had his hands full trying to get around Mains. It hasn't been easy. Mains has made darn sure of that, but, the gloves are off now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a slugfest up here at the front, but before we go, Green, let's do a quick little walk through the top 10. Right now, you got Garrett Mains up here in the lead, Michael Conti in second, kind of figure that. Third place, Andrew Dyson with a deep dive through the pack up from 12th position. Most weeks that doesn't seem like a whole lot to talk about, but I mean, coming from 12th in Phoenix to get up into the top 3 and it's field this stacked, pretty solid run there for that 11 machine. James Houghton up there in the 4th position. But real quick, we're going to take a look at the schedule for this week. And, as you know, right now we're watching the Monday Night Top Split action. Tomorrow, the SSRO Master Series will be taking on the Phoenix Raceway at 9:30 Eastern. Thursday, ISCA, get to catch me there, 9 p.m. Eastern, Phoenix Raceway again. Then rounding out the weekdays, we're going to be here Friday for the Friday Night Top Split, final one of the year. And, I've lost my graphic because I talk too slow.
Nice job.
It happens. Either way, final restart, potentially. Garrett Mains up here at the point. Looks like I've said that every race this season. Into the Geico restart zone. Mains with a good launch, going to get a huge advantage over second place Michael Conti here. Michael Conti still side by side with the 11 machine of Dyson as they work themselves to the dog leg. Now Deepest Conti going to send it to 3, or to 1 and 2. Oh, we got one around. Houghton gets turned off the nose of Baker. And Sean Conklin gets turned. All of them save it. Holy crap. Oh, and Commander Little gets slammed hard into the inside one on the back straightaway in a huge crash. I think that's going to be the race. Yes, it is. White flag is in the air.
And just like that, Conti doesn't even get a chance at Garrett Mains. And it just looked like it was about 3 cars sideways into turn 1, about 3 separate accidents that almost happened. Mainly with Conklin.
We were down into the green-white checkered. Late race. Everybody knows how difficult it is to make moves here. Huge, huge crash there on the back straightaway. Wiped out a lot of good cars.
Yeah, I think Conklin was, the moment he gathered it back up, he was kind of in a hurry. Yeah, but watch this. He's trying to get in a hurry to get merged back up into traffic, and he just kind of mistimed it. And, that caused this whole calamity right here off turn 2.
Right on board here with Conklin for the whole restart. Green flag comes out right there. Mains gets to the gas. Conklin trying to dive low on his Ryco teammate Baker here. Just comes down into 1 and 2. A little bit of contact with the 98 machine. It's going to send Conklin around and send a couple around up there on the outside. Tries to save it. Tries to get back into it. Unfortunately, I don't even think he knew the commander was even there.
No, the thing is, they were about 3 wide, I think, when they were coming off turn 2, and I don't think Conklin was, anticipating that as he was trying to merge back up. They just, missed time, but also probably had no idea that was going on. But just an unfortunate deal, and unfortunate for him because he was having quite the comeback. Getting the wave around, probably on older tires as a result for the amount of times that we saw him sideways where he had to pit under green. That trapped him a lap behind. He was able to come back, had a shot to get back up into the top 5, and unfortunately got sideways yet again. Sideways way more times than I think he definitely wanted. As Garrett Mains does a little bit of burnout in this part of the racetrack that you don't really see often.
Yeah, what feels like the 100th time this season, and honestly the last time of the year for the Monday Night A Open. Garrett Mains going to burn it down, bring it into victory lane. I can't think of a better way to put a bow on it. And before we go off for our interviews and all that fun stuff, I'll personally here for a minute. Just thank you to everybody that's been sitting here watching us all year throughout. God, it feels like about 2,000 races at this point. Been great having you along for the ride, and looking forward to what comes out of the future. But it's been an absolute blast to sit up here in the booth and call this stuff every week. Now, if we can't get them results up here. And welcome back to the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split. Sitting here with the unofficial results from a wonderful race in Phoenix. Bringing it home in P1 is going to be Garrett Maines, followed by Michael Conti second. Third is going to go to Andrew Dyson with Matt Baker in fourth. Fifth went to Brad Newman with Miller Bonds in sixth. Seventh place going to be Alex Murray with Tommy Gossett up in eighth. Ninth went to James Houghton with Joshua Latka. Kind of lucking out with the chaos on the last lap, moving himself up into P10.
And now we go through the rest of the field, trying to sort through the mess that we had on that last restart. You got Edward Marshall get credited with 11th, and Jerry Turner in 12th, Rob Mesh 13th. The 21 of Jordan Schmeetz in 14th, Cameron Thompson in 15th, 16th goes to Chris Hargraves, Tanner Marty in 17th, and then you got Sean Conklin. This will be a race that he will really want to forget, as he will get credited with 18th place. Leo Bart. Oh, we got to scroll. I couldn't see Leo. Hold on. Leo Barcel's 19th, and Justin Lee Pearson gets 20th.
21st, we got Daniel Edblad with a heartbreaking end of the race for Kamon Rick Little, getting caught up in the last wreck, going to bring it home 22nd. 23rd is going to be Sean Rogers with Jeffrey Taylor in 24th. 25th going to go to Jay Becker with Jason Blemmel, bringing it home 26th. 27th is going to go to Adam Benefield with John Payson, Paul Bergoli, and Joey Doucette, rounding out your 30-car field. All right, well, we'll move it on. For the last time of the season here, we're going to move Garrett Maines up here into the booth with another hell of a race win. Garrett Maines, man, how did you do it? I mean, that was one heck of a battle between you and Conti, and if it was me, I would have been crossed up in my head the entire time. Talk me through those this last handful of laps there as he was putting the pressure on you.
Yeah, you know, it was 30 to go there when we first went back green, and he almost caught me off guard, to be honest with you. I wasn't really prepared to be going so hard, knowing there was 30 to go, but I mean, it was the right move. He almost made something happen that first time he went to charge turn one, but I felt like we had a really good short run car as well. I didn't really make any adjustments in the pits, you know, because we still had 30 to go, so I didn't want to hurt the balance of the car. But we just had such a good pace tonight. We had a phenomenal long run car. I mean, we knew if it went longer than 30 laps, we were going to have a gap. But, you know, it came down to the short sprints. But, you know, Michael raced me really clean and really respectful. And, I mean, that was a freaking blast.
Yeah, you could definitely tell sitting up here in the booth that it was two pros marking the field for the entirety of that event. I mean, man, next question. How big of a factor was dirty air tonight? Because I noticed, like, on that first run, I don't know if any alarm bells went off for you, but they kind of did for us up here in the booth, you know, just how huge of an advantage that Conti got on that first run. And then, you know, you flip it around, y'all flip positions there on that second, and it kind of did the same thing, but in reverse for you getting the huge advantage over Conklin and Conti.
Yeah, you know, people were saying dirty air, and like I know it's a factor. I raced Coke there, obviously, and like experienced it. But the biggest problem that I faced on that short run, because I could get to Sean, I just couldn't get by Sean. I got to his inside numerous times. It's just the problem is there's so much grip on that second lane that you can really just pinch somebody down and like keep them from being able to advance. So I think that was the biggest problem. It just wasn't easy to be able to set something up and make a move. And that allowed, you know, Conti to kind of pull a gap once we got to battling, which was a little frustrating, but, you know, I think we had the car that was able to cut through it, and we had the rotation when I was, you know, in the dirty air to still be able to wrap the bottom. I mean, I didn't really have a hard time getting to Sean when I was behind him. I just couldn't get by him. And I think, you know, for Conti, when he got shuffled out on that 3-wide move, which I thought I was about to be screwed, trapped on the bottom there, but that kind of gave me an opportunity to get clear. That was kind of the game changer for me. I just think it takes too long to make up those positions. And by the time like he'd gotten into second place, like there was no pressure on me, and he just kind of had to maintain where he was.
Well, man, Garrett, it's been an absolute blast covering you dominating these Monday nights. And, you know, for the final time, just give us that sponsor rundown, man. Who do you want to thank for this win tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. Gotta give a huge shout out to Scott at MCU Body, as always. Also, thank you to Lennox and all the guys at Ryco Performance for their hard work. It's really nice to have had such a good car the last few weeks. I mean, Martinsville, the car was phenomenal. Phoenix again tonight, obviously on the long run, the car was phenomenal, and it wasn't, you know, wasn't short anything on the short run either. We were able to keep pace on both ends of the descent. So, props to those guys, and excited to see what we got tomorrow in Contender.
Well, man, I wish you the best of luck with that tomorrow, and thanks for coming up here and talking with us tonight and putting on a good show.
Appreciate it, man.
Look forward to seeing you in the future, buddy. All right, well, that just about does it for us here this evening. Curtis, what'd you think of the race?
It delivered on so many different, you know, levels that more than I think we kind of expected. Like, we were both kind of singing the praises of this track, you know, despite that, you know, the TV product never really shows it. But this is a really fun track, and it can put on some good racing when, you know, all the cards play out. And I think we saw quite a bit of that tonight.
And here we go. We're going to take a look at the schedule one more time. Maybe I'll talk fast enough to get it done this time. Tomorrow, 9:30, SSRO Masters coming live from Phoenix Raceway, followed by on Thursday at 9 Eastern, the ISCA will be run in Phoenix. Friday, we're going to be back here for the final Friday night top split NIS race. And then Saturday, Circuit Zandvoort for the Majors Series at 9 p.m. Eastern. And no, I think that's what we got for the night. I've been Sheldon Atkins, joined in the booth here with Curtis White and our wonderful producer, Austin Derbyshire. Thanks for tuning in and watching, and we'll see you next time on The Grid.